And we got this on Facebook from Al Drennan on the president's new framework for immigration. Al writes, "It seems as though the president is going against many in his own party to extend the olive branch to appease Democrats and strike a deal. How is it possible for all Democrats in the House and Senate to not be jumping all over this proposal?" Congressman Chaffetz, how do you answer, Al, and the concern from some conservatives that the president is giving away too much to the Dreamers when he gives them a path to citizenship, which is, again, more than Barack Obama did?
Yeah, viva Trump. I mean, I think a lot of people are very surprised, particularly in conservative circles, that he added the component that allows a pathway to citizenship. I don't like that component, but it really puts the Democrats in a box. And for Nancy Pelosi to go out and try to claim that this is some sort of racist plan, I don't know that the Democrats can actually say yes to anything. And this is something they're really going to have to contemplate. And when you have people like Senator Perdue, as Mark Short pointed out, and you have Senator Cotton in particular saying this is a good, solid framework.
Yeah, we should just point out two Republican, really strong hardliners on immigration issues.
Yeah, no, it puts the ball squarely back in the Democrats' court, and we're going to see if they're going to be able to pass it out of the Senate. I don't know that it could pass in the House quite as smoothly, but if all the Democrats get behind it in the House, then I think there are enough in the House on the Republican side of the aisle that they could actually pass this.
On the other hand, you talk about the Democrats, they're saying that the president is caving to the right wing of his party. Take a look.
The White House, unfortunately, has proven unreliable and wildly unpredictable. Within a course of hours, they say different things. Every time the president moves forward on one thing, his staff pulls him back and undoes what he said.
But one isn't citizenship for 2 million, not only Dreamers, but people eligible for Dreamer status who hadn't signed up yet. Isn't that a huge concession?
Yeah, I mean, that would be terrific. I mean, the first point to say is it's run into opposition, as you pointed out in your interview with Mark Short, from people like Ted Cruz, the senator, who is a hardliner, said, gosh, DACA didn't have a pathway to citizenship. Then you have right-wing media like Breitbart calling the president amnesty Don, Heritage saying this is a non-starter. Why are they saying this, Chris? Because in addition to providing this pathway, he goes after legal immigration, severe cuts in terms of legal immigration, attacks the idea of a diversity lottery, says that's wrong, so he therefore is also opposed to family reunification, which had been the premise for our immigration policies in the past. And when you think about this, this is not comprehensive reform. This is not dealing with the 11 million that are already here. So this is the president's presentation at a moment when the Democrats are saying $25 billion, you just got a huge tax cut, now you want $25 billion for a wall that essentially is symbolic.
So are you saying that Democrats, I mean, on the other hand, 2 million people in this country illegal, and even the Dreamers, as sympathetic as they are in the country illegally, you're saying Democrats shouldn't jump on this deal?
I don't think. Why would you jump? Look, the president set a phony deadline, this March thing, right? He's the one that tried to undo DACA. He said this is going to be a bargaining chip. In exchange for this, I'm going to demand concessions. I want my wall. Okay, the Democrats are willing to give added money for security on the border. The thing is, are you willing to give $25 billion? Are you willing not to address comprehensive immigration? Meanwhile, the real pressure, and the president has said this, he's going to have to take heat from his right, from the conservative media, from Heritage, and from the Freedom Caucus in the House. Will Paul Ryan even call this? Because I think, to your point, if Paul Ryan called it, he has enough votes from Democrats to get it passed.
They could potentially get it passed, but the reason I think the Democrats are fighting so hard against the wall is the wall will actually work.
We're at a 45-year low in terms of crossings, Congressman.
Yeah, and we got still a long ways to go. And there is no way that you can give the pathway to citizenship to Dreamers if you don't also solve the nightmare that is down on the border. And to secure and lock down that border is a fair compromise.
I think we have
I don't like the amnesty part. I don't know that I can vote for that.
Well, that's the real issue here. Will Paul Ryan...
Well, there are two issues. There is the right wing of the Republican Party. There's also the left wing of the Democratic Party. Right. Let me just, for a final word, go to you, Carl, because you broke your lance on immigration reform in the Bush 43 White House. Do they get a deal by March 5th or not?
Well, first of all, they don't need to, because the court, as you pointed out in your interview with Mark Short, has basically put this all on hold. But could they get a deal by March? Yes. This is a good opening framework. And let's be clear about it. The president has gone a long way with giving a path to citizenship for the Dreamers. But it is already being distorted on the other side. This is not $25 billion for a wall. This is $25 billion for a wall, additional agents, technology, and infrastructure along the border. It's not just a wall. It is all these other kind of things that have been talked about in order to secure our border. Yes, crossings are down, but we still don't have secure control of our border. One thing that Juan touched on, though, was absolutely right. The Democrats, particularly the Congressional Black Caucus, are going to fight hard to defend the diversity lottery, because lotteries are weird, but diversity, it means we draw people from countries that don't normally flow into the normal immigration flow, largely African countries.
Yes or no? They're going to get a deal or not?
I think this all depends upon the goodwill of people on both sides. The president doesn't help by tweeting about Schumer, but Schumer doesn't help by going to the floor. And Nancy Pelosi's comment was so over the top. I'm for immigration reform. I am in favor of robust immigration. But everybody who's adult ought to start acting like an adult in this conversation.
Well, that sounds like a definite no to me. Goodwill. We're depending on goodwill. We're in real trouble. Panel, have to take a break here. We'll see you a little later. Up next, President Trump dismisses